Hello Wrexham fans. How are you? I hope you're doing well, and look, 2 new signings, considered the best in La Liga, and more. Departures no one expected. Stay until the end and I'll tell you everything and more. But first, subscribe to the channel and leave a like to receive all the latest news from the Red Dragons. Before I continue, I want to say something very important to you who are watching this far. You are special. It may seem simple to hear, but it comes from the heart. Every person who takes the time to watch the video, to leave a like, a comment, or simply watch in silence, makes all the difference. You are important. Not only to the channel, but as a human being. Your presence here is valuable, and I am immensely grateful for that. Thank you so much for being here. Truly. Before I tell you the big news, let's get to the latest and greatest news from Wrexham AFC. Let's start by talking about Wrexham's tour of Australia, which was, shall we say, a bit mixed. The team ended the trip with a 1-0 loss to Wellington Phoenix. Before that, they also lost to Sydney FC, but managed a solid 3-0 victory over Melbourne Victory. It wasn't all negative. Now, back in the UK, the Red Dragons continue preparing with more friendlies before the start of the highly anticipated 2025-26 season. And get this, Sean Harvey, a key figure behind the scenes at the club, made a curious revelation about Wrexham's training sessions. During the tour, he appeared on Ben Foster's podcast, Fozcast, and opened up about what he saw during the team's training sessions. According to Harvey, he was completely confused by what the players were doing during training. He said he even had to ask one of the sports doctors what was going on because he saw players wearing numberless shirts, others wearing blue and yellow shirts, and everyone exchanging passes amid intense pressure. Apparently, the training sessions focused on specific game situations, with unconventional formations, such as centre-backs acting as centre-forwards and matches with numerical imbalances, like 4 against 3. All of this was to work on pressing, positioning, and quick responses. Harvey admitted that, although he didn't understand it at first, he realized it was a way to refine the team and simulate real game situations. According to him, this experience will be very useful, especially for analyzing the coaching staff's needs. And the news doesn't stop there. With the racecourse ground still undergoing renovations, Wrexham will remain away from home for the time being. The team's next challenge will be abroad once again, a friendly against FC Groningen of the Netherlands on Saturday, August 2nd, at 3 p.m. local time. But be careful. Fans will not be allowed to attend the stadium. The good news is that the match will be broadcast on the club's official website. And now, news that changes everything. Wrexham is ready for a new challenge, the Championship, the second tier of English football. And that starts next month, with a tough clash against Southampton in the opening match. But wait, there's much more. Ben Foster, former goalkeeper and one of the club's greatest players, made a prediction for this opening match. And the atmosphere is already heating up. After securing their 3rd consecutive promotion, the Red Dragons went on a shopping spree and broke records. 6 new players arrived, with the club breaking its transfer record twice. The fans are excited, but there's one detail few people are talking about. With this bloated squad, Wrexham now faces a new challenge off the pitch, the EFL's rules for the Championship. That's right, in League One, they could register 22 players, and goalkeepers under 21 didn't need to be on the list. But now, in the Championship, the scenario changes. Clubs can register up to 25 players, but all goalkeepers over 21 must be included. And at least 8 of those players must be domestically trained. And do you know what that means? Manager Phil Parkinson has 30 players aged 21 or over on his squad. In other words, 5 of those players won't be able to play professionally in the 2025-26 season, at least in the first half of the year. Of course, the club can register a new roster after the winter window, but until then, someone will be left out. Who could leave? Let's get to it. 8 players have already left in May, others are also being negotiated, and Parkinson himself may choose not to register some at the start of the competition. This happened recently with Anthony Ford and Will Boyle, who stayed with the club but were not registered for the league. Now, among those expected to leave the team, we have a few names already on the radar. Jake Bickerstaff trained with Oldham Athletic recently. He's likely to leave. Ollie Palmer, Madu Fail, and Jack Marriott could be loaned out or sold, especially with Wrexham planning to invest £10 million in a new striker. Jacob Mendy. He didn't play a single minute in League One last season, and with Kakesa's arrival, he seems out of the picture. George Evans has also lost his place, and the midfield is increasingly crowded with new signings, and even Windass could play deeper. Now pay attention to this third piece of news, because it could have completely changed the game for Wrexham. Just imagine, Christian Eriksen, one of the greatest midfielders of the last decade, playing for Wrexham. Well, it almost happened. The Danish star is a free agent after his contract with Manchester United expired. And, according to the Daily Mail, Wrexham wasted no time. They made a bold offer to bring the player to Wales this summer. And it wasn't just any attempt, you know? Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney are willing to do anything to make a splash in the Championship after last season's historic promotion. They spoke directly with Eriksen, who was eventually released by United earlier this month. A bold move that could have been one of the biggest signings in the history of the English Second Division. But here comes the part many fans didn't want to hear. Despite being impressed with Wrexham's project, Eriksen seems to be eyeing other opportunities. At 33, he believes he can still perform at a high level in Europe's top leagues. And so I ask you, is he right? Or would it be incredible to see a name like Eriksen putting on a show in the Championship wearing a Wrexham jersey? According to sources close to him, he highly appreciated the offer and praised the club's structure, but is currently considering offers from elite leagues, such as Saudi Arabia, the United States, Brazil, and Turkey. Do you think he's right to wait? Or should he have opted for Wrexham's bold project? Remember, Eriksen has played for giants like Tottenham, Ajax, Inter Milan, Brentford, and, of course, Manchester United, where he played 107 games, won the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, and reached major finals. But perhaps the most significant moment in his career came off the field, the cardiac arrest he suffered at Euro 2020. After that, he left Inter because Serie A doesn't allow players with ICDs on the field, and started again at Brentford. A true story of resilience. And to top it all off, we have an important update on Wrexham's new signings. After announcing Lewis O'Brien from Nottingham Forest in a deal already considered the biggest in the club's history, Wrexham surprised once again. This week, the club confirmed the arrival of Josh Windass on a free transfer, following the player's departure from Sheffield Wednesday. And get this, the signing is already being praised by EFL experts. According to Benjamin Bloom, a respected commentator and YouTube content creator, this was a smart move for Wrexham. In his words, "It's an easy choice. I really like Windass. He's completely ready for this new season. He's 31 years old and continues to play at a high level." Bloom also highlighted some of Windass's career highlights, such as decisive goals, including that 124th-minute winner in the playoff final. That's right. What's more, he stated that most championship clubs would likely find a good use for a player like Windass, even if he were just coming off the bench. His experience, his technical quality, he has that extra something that can make all the difference. Last season, playing as an attacking midfielder, Windass scored 13 goals in 44 championship games. To give you an idea, that's more than any Wrexham player managed in the entire 2024-25 season, and that includes the forwards. Now the expectation is high. Will Phil Parkinson play Windass deeper in midfield, or will he position him just behind Ryan Hardy or Sam Smith, in the same role Elliot Lee played for parts of last season? We'll be monitoring that closely. But one thing is already certain. Wrexham is gearing up with full force to make history in the Championship. Thanks so much for watching this far. Do you approve of them at Wrexham? And don't forget to leave that like, subscribe to the channel. See you later.